Right. Okay. So hi, everybody. Welcome again to day one of the Furbabies Summit. My name is Stephanie Goodman. I am your host of the summit for this weekend. We've got a bit of great technical help in the background. I am also the host of our Furbabies podcast and the founder of both. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. We've put a lot of work into the summit and are extremely happy and blessed to have our speakers on that are with us. So I want to get started with our first one of the day. This is a rescue that I have followed for quite some time and know and love. And they do, I have a thread through this of rescues that are getting it right out there. Because there's a lot of rescues and there's a lot of people that are toying around with the idea of starting a rescue and have a lot of questions and might seem overwhelmed or might feel overwhelmed. And it can feel overwhelming at times. But these three are they're getting it right. They're doing a lot of really good things and they've learned a lot and they've got some great followings and some really good supporters. And I wanted to share those with you guys. And some of you have probably adopted from them too. So you can chime in as well and share your stories. But I wanted to start today with Sharon Ganzhorn. And Sharon runs and founded a rescue called Sharon's Critters Action Team, SCAT for short. Now, Sharon has been doing this for a number of years, and they did that long enough where they got their 501c3 status. So they are a nonprofit. Any donations that are made to them is tax deductible, which is also always nice. But their programs are just really, really cool. So I've got some pictures ready to go for Sharon when we get to those points. And I see you on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and let you get started. Good morning. I'd give you a big bear hug if I could.
Good morning. Good morning, Stephanie. I really appreciate all the kind things you've said about our little rescue.
They're true.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's good to hear. The rescue world's tough. So whenever you get compliments or encouragement, it means everything. So I'll just talk a little bit about how we got started.
Mm-hmm.
I started out just volunteering for our local humane society, rather. Our humane society is great. It's one of the best I've seen in our little county of Gloucester, Virginia. I volunteered there for a number of years, and the way they did things was just excellent. I mean, they just had a pattern of excellence in their medical programs and in their adoption programs. So I started thinking more and more about how I could expand into other parts of the community, and maybe into other states, and I sort of use them as a model. So the way we got started is we did online auctions on Facebook. We would have people donate items, and you've probably participated, Stephanie. So people would donate items, would have bidding going on, would ship the items. They became nationwide. Well, they started making some money, and what we would do with the money is donate it to a variety of rescues nationwide, all types. So there was a bat rescue we gave money to, a wolf rescue, wildlife rescues, cats, dogs, guinea pigs. There was actually a rescue that only did guinea pigs that we would donate to. So but after a while it started making more and more money. I'm like, okay, we're giving every dime to charity, but there comes a point where you have to get your 501c3, and get everything, as it should be. So we had an accountant come forward on our page one day and volunteer to do all of that for us free of charge. So we're so lucky. Thank you, Patricia King in Delaware. She is a wonderful person, takes care of all of our yearly federal paperwork and state paperwork, the things I don't like to do.
I understand that.
So from that point, we grew. We have 5 board members in case we need a tiebreaker. If there's a point of contention, which there never has been, we're all usually on the same page. So we've been a nonprofit for 7 years now, and it's just grown. And now we've expanded into rescue work, mainly cats. but we do rescue other animals as well. But I would say 90 to 95% of our rescues are cats of all ages, and we do take animals with medical problems, that sort of thing. Yep, we just, some of the things we've done, I'm looking at my notes here because we've done so much, I had to organize it. Some things we've done is we purchased a van for transport that we call it our SCAT mobile.
I want to open that up for everybody.
Okay.
Okay, can we see this?
There she is.
There she is. Look at that.
We saved for years for this van. It's just a little van. It holds 8 30-inch crates, but it's a nice van. And one of our board members, Barb Melton, she keeps the oil change. She washes it, sets the crates up for it. That's her baby right there. And so we're so grateful to her for keeping our van going. But something we use this van for is to transport animals to New England, where we have so many animals here in the South that nobody wants. Euthanasia rates are pretty high in a lot of the shelters. So our main program is we bring cats and kittens from shelters where they might not make it out alive, frankly, or we sometimes take strays, animals who have been dropped off in feral colonies that are tame, things like that. And we bring them into our program, address any health concerns they may have. We fully vet them. Everybody's spayed, neutered, vaccines, combo tested, we treated everything. And then we have a rescue partner, several of them actually in New England, but the one we mainly work with is in New Hampshire. Pet Tails Rescue is remarkable little rescue up there. We've been partners for years, and we take our animals there because in that part of the country, there are not as many kittens and puppies available for adoption. And I can talk about the reasons for that.
I was going to ask you, why is that? I also wanted to ask, for those of us that are out on the West Coast, we've got a lot of folks out in California. I'm in Texas, and Texas is very large. You guys work through, I wanted to say a tri-state area, but I think that's probably more north. How far in distance do you guys range? Because so when people have come in and they talked about transporting and sending them up north, it's like, are you driving an hour? Do you drive 2? Because I've seen some pretty long drives out of some of the folks in the SCAT group. And so for everybody that's on the other side of the country, how far are you guys going with that? Does that make sense?
There are two prongs to that. First, where are we getting our kitties from? Because we're in Virginia, we reach down as far as South Carolina. We bring in a lot from North Carolina. We bring in a lot from South Carolina. Of course, a ton from Virginia. So we are really trying to reach out deeper south, especially into some of the problem areas. So that's how far south we go. We have driven as far as New Hampshire. We've driven to Massachusetts from Virginia. Our partners in New Hampshire are kind enough to meet us in New Jersey, though, most of the time. So we will, and sometimes they come all the way to Richmond, Virginia, which is nice, but we will go that far. With some of our other programs, we've driven farther. We've driven to Oklahoma in our van before.
Oh my, the van has been to Oklahoma.
The van has been to Oklahoma.
Oh my goodness.
But that was for, and this is another area that I'd like to move on into, if it's okay with you, Stephanie.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
Our mission statement is to find creative and effective ways to improve the lives of animals, both domestic and wild. So the wild animal part of that, we'll talk about that a little bit. We dabble in that. So of course, domestic animals, that's our main bread and butter, but I'm good personal friends with the director of Wild Heart Ranch in Oklahoma, and it's a large wildlife rehab center where all of the animals are they're orphaned or injured, and they bring them in and rehab them and release them back into the wild. Nothing is there to stay, but we have been several times to spend a week there, and actually, I believe you may have a picture of us doing it.
I do.
We spend a week doing the most wonderful things, helping to rehab animals. Our board members go. We've taken a friend or two here or there, but we've gone several times. I'm not going this year. I went last year, so we usually try to go at least every other year. But Annette Tucker is the director there, just a wonderful person who cares so much for animals, and she dabbles a little in domestic animal rescue, but her main thing is the wildlife rehab center. So yes, the van has been there. Other things we do for wildlife is we sometimes will donate to another nonprofit. So we do that actually pretty frequently, and we'll donate. Another thing we do is if an animal is found locally, I have good contacts and friends who are wildlife rehabbers. Will help direct the animal to where it needs to go. Sometimes we've even driven them there. We've saved a snake. We've gotten a vulture care before. With we love every animal. We don't with the exception of maybe fleas and ticks.
I think that's fair. I'm with you.
There's a handful. There are about 6 or 7 that we just can't. We try to love them, but we can't. But yes, so that's a way we've helped. And then when we send an animal, we always send a donation with the animal to the rehabber to help. So that's just another little part of it. I probably talked too long on that because I'm so proud of what we do there. But
you're fine.
Again, our main thing, the main thing we do is domestic animal rescue.
You are totally fine. We have plenty of time. I think
because that was a particularly cute picture.
Wait, which one?
Did you have the picture of the wildlife rehab?
We do. Is it not showing it?
No, the thing. I see the van.
Oh, stop sharing and reshare. Guys, I'm so sorry. See, this is why I have, hang on, this one. We want to share this one. I apologize. Thank you, bottle washer.
I like that one.
No, it takes a village. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I just love
There we go. There's the beautiful photo.
Yeah, they're the little fawns.
I've been looking at it the whole time. I'm so sorry.
Barbara and Kathy and myself. Again, those are all board members of SCAT who don't mind traveling. So those are my 2 main travel mates there, Barbara and Kathy. We have a lot of fun. We usually on the way back from a transport, we'll hit the casino or something like that. We always do something fun. We feel like we deserve it. So, but anyway, that's a little part of what we do.
So when you guys go out there, it's the 3 of y'all usually, and you spend about a week out there, right?
Yes, we do.
Is that inclusive of travel time, or is that kind of in the middle?
No, that we stay a solid week there, and we've done it different ways. One time when we got there, we rented an RV, and we had the RV place just park it right on the property of the rehab. We just lived in that, and then the last time we went, Annette had built cabins on the property. We stayed in the cabin.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
You have to be good travel mates to be able to do that. That's a lot of fun. That's a blessing in a relationship too. And so there's 5 board members. So how many are part of your team, like your core team? Because there's some names that I know of, but I feel like I probably don't know everybody.
Well, we all play different roles. All of our board members help and work. Barb is there in the picture. She's on the left. She takes care of that van and the setting up the crates. She is the hardest physical work of any of us. She's worth $1 million to us. And she also, when you travel with Barb, She's the only one who'll drive. She will not let anyone else drive. So she drove all the way to Oklahoma and back and wouldn't let us drive an inch.
We love you, Barb.
Yeah, oh, she's something. But
I get it.
I always tell her I would just have, I don't know what I would do without you, Barb. She really is just such an asset. And then Kathy there in the middle, all of the crochet toys, cat toys you see, Kathy makes probably 75 to 80% of those. We have other people who make them too, but Kathy's, her crochet needle never stops. She sews, she makes all those beautiful masks that we sell. And she also is a lot of times the first to step up to do a transport, to go pick up kitties from down south. She's, and I know her because we work together in the hospital. We're both healthcare.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, she's a nurse. She's a nurse, and I'm a rad tech. So anyway,
go ahead.
I was just going to talk briefly about the other two. Candace is my daughter. Yes, I always throw that in because I'm so proud of her. But she helps a lot with. She and Sarah lives in California, and she's our last board member. They help with a lot of editing on and creating documents. They work on things like our adoption contracts, our applications, our things like that. They really help on that end of it because that's another thing. I'm down in the trenches. I don't like that part of it, and they're better at it. So they help a lot with those type of things. Sarah also runs all of the vendor events on our Facebook page. Like if someone wants to have a party for say Pampered Chef or something like that, or sees candy, she does those. She always helps the host organize those. So Sarah's good with that. But yeah, we all have our little role to play.
On both sides of the workforce, we always say delegate what you don't enjoy or what you're not the best at. And so I think you guys do a really good job with that. And if I may, I'll say something fun with Kathy. Kathy's crochet needle is really awesome. And I thank you for the masks that got me through Christmas when everything first started happening. So thank you. But she did the little, the little doobies.
Yes, the catnip doobies. They're crocheted doobies with catnip in them for your kitties to partake in, and the cats love them. Cats just go crazy.
And you can't get them. They sell out like that. Oh, I mean, they pop up on the page, and it's like, darn.
I think everyone likes them because they're a little bit naughty, and they make people laugh. The catnip doobies have been just and we've sold just really thousands of them. So that is a good way we use social media, fundraising. That is it's crucial. It's a free tool. Everybody should use Facebook who has a rescue. And when people who have a rescue tell me they don't have a Facebook page, I just don't even know how they're functioning. How do you get your donations? It's very expensive to run a rescue if you do it the correct way and do all of your vetting correctly and get animals the proper care they need. It's so expensive. And if you don't have a Facebook page, unless you have a very wealthy benefactor or something, which we don't have, you really have to take advantage of that free tool. So anybody out there who's looking to start a rescue, just keep that in mind. You know that it's there available for you. And if you don't know how to use Facebook, have someone show you. It's not complicated. It's a great way to communicate and a great way to raise money for your rescue.
To that end, so that was one thing about you guys that I noticed that I've always been just impressed by is you have a great Facebook feed. And for those of you who haven't seen SCAT before, Sharon or one of the team can put out a post about, hey, we need to go pull this cat or this kitten or this mama from the shelter. And I mean, people just start, okay, done. but they are consistently putting out content, and they have the fundraisers, and they have the toys, they have the fun stuff, they have the serious stuff. They did a kitten shower last weekend. It was the cutest thing. And there were games and things like that. I mean, you felt like you were there. What I was going to also say is, there's Facebook, but then there's also Instagram, which has been growing. And I get it. Social media is, how many platforms do I have to keep up with? I've been going down that road myself. But even with Instagram, there's such a huge audience out there of people that will see it, and they'll come in to get to your Facebook page. So we have a speaker that's coming in on Sunday to talk about Instagram, like how to use Instagram. She's a social media, I would say a social media queen, but she's incredible with social media, and she's been teaching about that for a long time. So that's something that can benefit everybody who's looking to expand, and kind of learn how it works, because a lot of what you post on Instagram, you can apply back to send back to Facebook. So it's eye-opening. It's a lot of fun, and it's another option out there too. But SCAT's been using Facebook for years, and as their algorithms have evolved, so is SCAT's, the stuff that SCAT posts. So we were going to talk about, what was the next photo? Because I've got them.
Ask the questions.
It goes with it. So were we going to you guys with Hurricane Florence, or were we going to Blinky?
We could talk about Hurricane Florence. It's just one more part of what we do. So something that we do, I'll just get started on it while you're getting the photo up. Something that we like to do.
Sure.
Oh, that was Blinky.
It was the second one. Here we go. That one.
Yeah. So
I love that photo.
Something we like to do is, you'll notice on social media, sometimes there's a lot of contention and competition between rescues, and drama, sometimes, quite frankly. And we don't like that. We don't like that. We feel like the more collaborative you can be with other rescues, the more you'll get done,
Yes.
Honestly. And we work hard at that. As a matter of fact, when you join our Facebook group page, you join and we have to approve you, because we keep it that way. And we've been scolded before. You need to open that up, make it public. Well, I'll say yes to anybody who comes to join, but we keep that page just completely drama-free. And people always say, that is the most drama-free Facebook page I've ever seen in my life. And there's a reason for that. I keep it that way because it distracts from what we're trying to do, from our mission. It's so distracting, and I see so many groups get caught up in that. But anyway, we like to collaborate, and if we see another rescue that has a really big need, we've done this several times. For example, there was a senior cat sanctuary, Cats Crossing in Northern Virginia, and it burned down, and burned to the ground. There's an electrical problem. They got almost every cat out. And the poor founder and owner of the rescue had like 50 cats in her home while it was being rebuilt. Insurance money built it up bigger and better and beautiful, but she needed things. She needed, it did not cover everything. She needed food, she needed cat condos. Well, we went on the page and we got her everything she needed, within a couple of weeks. We just talked about what we could do, and our group members, we call them scatters. Everybody who's on that group page, part of SCAT. We make sure that everyone knows that if you help us and you're on the page, you're one of us, where it's a group effort. So that's one thing we did. Another thing we've done is there was a rescue up in northern Pennsylvania that would take rabbits from us from time to time, and we went up there and their vacuum cleaner was broken and there was rabbit fur everywhere, and they didn't have the money. They just didn't have it right then. So we took some of our funds that we had in the bank and we bought them a brand new industrial quality vacuum cleaner. So we think we need to all help each other We really do. I mean, that it's so crucial to the rescue world that we stop this nonsense of, of the competition and, it's not a competition. We're a team. Nationally, we're a team. So the picture you see here is from Hurricane Florence. That, if you remember, that hurricane hit North and South Carolina. It was horrible. I mean, towns were just flooded. So Jacksonville, I mean, there was water everywhere. There's nowhere to get gas, nowhere to get food. All the gas stations, grocery stores, everything was flooded. I mean, you couldn't drive a car, you couldn't get out of there. So we were pretty foolhardy. We put up a wish list on our page and got all of this cat food and dog food, and I mean thousands of pounds. And the lady you see on the left is Michelle Wilkinson. She is the director of Peninsula Pet Pantry in Newport News, Virginia. Her organization donated a lot of food, to this effort. So Kathy and I got in the van and I said, well, how are we going to get there? Everything's flooded. She said, we're going to find a way. And so she and I are very
resourceful.
Yeah, some people say foolhardy and reckless. But we like resourceful. That's about
I say resourceful.
so we're like, we're going to get there. Darn it.
People paddle.
The animals, that's how we were. So the animals needed us. So we hopped on the road and we went down, headed towards Jacksonville, because we did see some pleas on Facebook from Jacksonville saying, there's one lady that said she had been feeding her dog crackers for 3 days because that's all she had. Her dog food all got wet. And she said you can't go to the grocery store to get any more because the grocery store is flooded up to people's necks. I mean, so we drove down there with all this food and we had to reroute. I don't know how many times. We had to drive on the shoulder. I hope Barb's not listening to this because she doesn't like for us to not take care of the van. So we drove on the shoulder. But so, it was rough getting down there. But when we got there and got to this place, JB Rescue, I think it was called, they had in their rescue opened an area for anybody who could donate animal food. And there was hardly anything there. I mean, as far as supplies. So we got it all in the building, and she was on the phone calling people. She had a list of people who contacted her who had no food for their animals. There was one rescue down there where they had their food in the shed, and the shed flooded. So even a rescue needed food. So people, when they came to pick up the food, some of them were crying. And while we were there, we had the opportunity, a feral cat group came in. They do TNR. They had 3 colonies in the area. Their food was all ruined, and we wrote them a check to help them with spays and neuters as well. And it sounds like I'm just boasting on what we do.
No, you're not.
I'm proud.
You're absolutely not.
I'm just proud we were able to do that, and it was through the efforts of our donors. Honestly, our donors and volunteers. And on our page, we have a good relationship with our donors too. We know them. Like when you contacted me, Stephanie, I knew you. I knew that you're a SCAT reporter. I instantly recognized your name. We're good at knowing our people who help us, and we're very grateful to them. And we always want to make sure that they know they're included and they're part of this. Just because they're not feet on the ground with us all the time, they're still part of this. It's not possible without the donors and supporters. So we thank you and thank all of you.
If I can say too, one of the things that I've loved about SCAT and a few of our other groups is that my work schedule has been such that I would travel all the time and I wasn't boots on the ground. But it's like, okay, either I can pick up a transport and fly somewhere where I'm going, or I can donate, or I can help share something, or I can talk to people about it, or go, hey, you're in this area, go see them, go do this, go try that. And I get that more and more from a lot of other people that are like, I really want to help do something. I don't know where to start. You don't always have to go to, and this is what you probably hear this 1,000 times. I can't go in the shelter. Well, you don't always have to go in the shelter. Right. You can go and help foster. You can help to send supplies. You can help work on a wish list. You can make some calls, make some posts. There's a number of other things that you can help do. And the greater presence you guys have in social media and in the community, there's a lot more there's a lot of additional ways where people can get involved. And so that was another thing that I wanted to share with everybody. Even like this, if someone doesn't come through and say, oh, I want to help foster, they could go down and, meet you guys at disaster spots and go, hey, I can help unload, or I can help put this in the thing, or I can help paddle, Yes. And Barb said she heard that. We love you, Barb. Thank you. But I think it's great what you guys have done with it. And I don't think it's boasting. I think it needs to be said, because there, unfortunately, is a contingent in the rescue world where there's sort of some infighting. And I try to stay out of that. I know most of us try to stay out of that, and we don't want it on our page. It's like, if you guys just go work on that outside the group, because it doesn't help the group. We want to help bolster the group and nurture those relationships and make it grow. And we want to help be able to save as many littles as we can. And us fighting doesn't do that. So it's not, leave your ego at the door kind of thing, So I think what you guys pulled together to do is great. And for those of us that are outside, you've got Virginia and then you've got Florida. That's a drive. That's a lot of paddling. So I love what you guys did. I think that was awesome. There was, I do have a question, and I know we've got 2 other photos. We're doing pretty good on time. One of the questions, what is your biggest need with SCAT?
Our biggest need, well, there are 2 things. First is just monetary donations for vet bills, or pay directly to the vet is always another option I give. We spay and neuter every single animal, every single one, aside from maybe hamsters or something. All of the cats and dogs that come through us are spayed and neutered. That's expensive. And every one of them is individually combo tested. That's expensive. Also, our animals, if they need to see a specialist for their eyes, or we have animals who've seen cardiologists, dermatologists, that's expensive, but it's a need. It's, it's a need. So monetary donations for vets, that's the one thing. The other thing is canned food for kittens. Always.
Yeah.
Canned kitten food, always. That it doesn't matter how much we get, not enough. So that's a big need. The third one I just thought of too is cat litter. If you feed them that much food, it's got to go somewhere. So we need the cat litter. That's a big need. So those are probably our three largest needs, honestly.
Those are good ones. What is the best way for people to donate to SCAT?
Well, there is a donate button on our website, which is www.scatinc.org. There is a big donate button there that will accept PayPal or a card. If you don't have PayPal, you can pay with a card. That's probably the best way. And PayPal is the other way. That email address right there is our PayPal email address. So if you want to just go straight to PayPal, that's the other way. Those are the best ways to do it. So a third way is if you want to, if somebody would like to email me, or our email is just scatinc@aol.com. If you want to email me, I can give you a mailing address, to mail a check if you want snail mail. But yeah, so we PayPal is generally the best way though. There we go.
There we are.
Oh, there's our Queenie.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, we're doing some work.
And Ron.
Yeah, doing FRP work.
Oh,
that was one of my favorites. Freya, who was shot in the eye, and also someone cut her tail off.
Oh my!
But boy, she had surgery. She was an expensive kitty for us, but worth every dime. And there she is getting adopted. A nurse I work with adopted her, and she sleeps in the bed with her and mama every night and is very happy. But somebody's been working on our website. Those are new on the website, but yeah, those are.
I love it.
That's a good place to go to see some of our hardest cases where nobody really would have wanted to take some of those cases on, but we don't look at numbers. How many can we save? We look at each animal at a time. You know, if you look at numbers, you'll get discouraged actually, because there's so many out there you can't help. But if you look at just one animal at a time and do it that way, you really feel good about what you do. You know, because you're saving animals that nobody else would. You know, they'll probably just get euthanized because nobody has the time, the money, they don't want to put forth the effort. And so it's, yeah, I see somebody's been working on that webpage.
I'm loving it right now. And if she doesn't have the picture of Blinky, I've got that up for you because I know Blinky was a special story for you. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I can't with the tuxies. Please come home with me. Oh my goodness.
That black kitten with the little girl, that was Mary's kitten.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I know Mary was one that, you know, affected you quite a bit. That was her kitten. Mary didn't make it.
That was her kitten?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mary didn't make it, but her kittens did. Mary put every ounce of her last energy into making sure her kittens made it. So that is a wonderful picture of Mary's kitten with her little girl. But anyway, yeah, that's a story. We're talking about an inside story now that not everybody knows. But
well, I will. Oh gosh, I'll go on the high end of it and just say, Mary was one of those kittens she was one of those cats. It was a very hard case. I won't go into all the details about it, but Mary was such that there's been a number there's always a number of animals that influence us and really inspire us to make that leap and do something bigger than us and do something more. And Mary was one of those cats for me. And I told Sharon the other day, I literally have notes from about 4 years ago where I had written down her name and I was like, we're going to do this about Mary. And it had to do with what became the summit. So Mary is actually a part of that. I'm so glad to see her baby. That's awesome. So there is the Facebook group, you guys. And so Sharon's Critters Action Team, there's the link for it. So, and thank you, Bottle Washer. We have fun up here. Thank you, Scott, for putting that link in the chat roll for us.
Thank you.
What else was I going to say? So let me share this real quick. We've got a few more minutes. Is it okay if I stop sharing off of yours for a second?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just going to put this one up there real fast. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good example of one of our animals seeing a specialist. That's an eye specialist, an ophthalmologist, and that's Blinky, who came to us at a half a pound. And when the first time the vet saw her, she said she's not going to make it through the night. She's just too sick. She had upper respiratory diarrhea. One of her eyes had already ruptured from the herpes virus, but she was one of those all-nighters. I call them all-nighters, where I'm up all night just holding them and feeding them and giving them sub-Q fluids, and you know. But Blinky made it. Blinky had surgery, had the eye removed, had to have an eyelid revision done on the other eye, so we were able to save one of her eyes. But Blinky is, she's still at my house. Now she's getting an ear infection now and again, so she can't go north yet. Then we were just trying to figure out why she keeps getting those, but she's runs and plays. She's been spayed. She's a big kitty now. She's about 6 pounds. So Blinky made it, but that's one thing that I think is important, to get the correct medical care for your animals if you're running a rescue, and fundraise for that.
And again, it's something that, I mean, you look at Blinky and you think, oh gosh, this is going to be overwhelming. It's not always overwhelming. So you get them in with the right team and the right vets, and you can fix it. So that's,
people will help you, and part of it is you have to learn how to tell the story. Tell their story and tell it in a meaningful way and in a sincere way. People will help you. You know, so it helps if you're able to express yourself on social media in the right way, you know. So yeah, we got all of the funding for that just because people fell in love with Blinky. We were able to tell her story. So.
And then there was, I've got two of these.
Okay.
Hang on. I've got Vanna.
Oh, the before and after. Oh,
Yes.
that's bad before. I'm so
So
glad we had
Vanna
it.
before.
No, this is after.
Oh, muffins. Hang on. You're right. I'm telling you, this is why I have a bottle washer. No joke. It takes a village. It really does.
People probably would barely want to see the before. It's really sad.
Here we go.
And I can tell her story very quickly. And
here we go. Okay, we're gonna share this one. There we go.
That's Vanna when she came to
Oh
us.
my God. Yep.
Vanna lived 6 years tied to a tree at a neighboring county. She's a purebred, we call them cane corsos. They're Italian. I understand it's supposed to be pronounced cane corso, but I'm going to call them a cane corso because that's what most Americans call them. So she was just bred over and over and over and over. I mean, who knows? Puppies are being sold at $1,500 a pop. She just lived tied to a tree all year round, even in the winter. And dogs are brought over to breed her with. So finally, the county she was in, the animal control, caught wind of this and seized every dog on the property. She was one of them. That picture there, she's full-term pregnant in that picture, as skinny as she is. So she had 11 puppies. Most of them were stillborn, and all the rest died except for 2. And the shelter called us and said, "We know you have an incubator. Can you come get these 2 puppies and just 2 weeks to even nurse them and take care of them?" So we did. So Vanna gained weight. She had terrible parasites. So, and an infection, but she gained weight. She got better. The shelter had her and she kept getting better. So we gave her puppies back to her and she took care of them. And the person who had them was bothering the shelter, really wanted her back. The court case was pending. So we took her and her puppies into foster. And then the county actually won the case against the person. So then they said, "Well, do you just want to keep Vanna in your rescue?" And we said, "Sure." And we took her north. We fattened her up, got her puppies fattened up, took them north, and they all got adopted. All 3 went to separate homes. And they're all extremely happy. And you see the after picture of Vanna now. She is just a glorious dog. I mean, and the people love her. She has children that she lives with who love her like a sibling. And look at difference. Yeah, look at
such a difference.
And what a beautiful, beautiful dog. Anybody would want a dog like that, and as simple as they come. It was hard for me to tell her goodbye.
Snuggle bug. I would be hard for me to tell her goodbye too.
Yeah, I love that dog, and it was it's always hard. But she was a very special one, and she was another one. You feel like you brought her back from the absolute brink of death. She suffered so hard, but yet was so forgiving of humans, and just a good dog. She's just a great dog. But anyway, so that's we don't take in very many dogs, but when we do, it's usually a case like this where they're not going to survive, probably. So anyway,
exactly.
That's our Vanna. She lives in New Hampshire now.
She is precious. How old is she? Do we remember?
Vanna, I believe Vanna was 6 years old. No, 7. She was 7 because she had lived inside as a puppy, but then when she got to be about a year old and breedable, that's when she was put outside to the tree. Had never lived inside before. So, after that, but now she only lives inside. So
she's spoiled rotten the way she should be.
Yeah.
She's just beautiful. Oh my gosh, I miss our dog.
Oh, I know it's hard. Yeah, we lost our grand dog last year. My grand dog, Candace, my daughter, her dog did passive cancer, and we're still it's still very raw. So we certainly sympathize with you because we know the feeling of that.
We do too. It never goes away. It just gets a little bit less raw.
Yeah,
what I always say.
Exactly. It's very painful, but but it was worth it for every day we got to spend with her. So
she totally was.
Yeah.
I have somewhere. So in one of the pictures that I did, those are her puppies. Or was that a different one?
Oh, yes, those are her
I
puppies.
thought so. Okay, I thought so. I thought so. Okay, so we do have that somewhere too. We'll put that up there.
Yeah,
So
but her puppies are, the dogs are massive. I mean, in her after picture, she's 140 pounds. They're big dogs. So I tried to name the puppies ironic names and make them little delicate names. So they were Violet and Petunia, even though they're going to be these big, massive, muscular dogs. Violet and Petunia. They're named something else now, I'm sure, but
I love it.
We sometimes give silly names to our animals.
Well, so before we close, we do have, and I appreciate you asking that question. That is there one thing you want to share that you wish everyone knew about rescues or animals? Gosh, I could talk about that for an hour. What do you think?
One thing, yes, the one thing I would like to, we touched on already, I would like to re-emphasize that there's something everybody can do. And every single thing you do is important. If you come to our page and you just encourage us and cheer us on, that's important. It keeps us going. If you don't have any money, if you have $1 and you PayPal us $1, that'll feed a kitten for 3 days easily. And that's if you give it expensive food. If you go a little bit cheaper, you can probably go longer. But every single thing you do matters because it's just a group effort. It's just a grain of sand on the beach, but when you put all that sand together, you've got a beach. So we have to remember that and don't ever feel like, well, all I can do is this or all I can do is that. It's important. It's important. We need everybody. That's the homeless animal situation in our country is very bleak sometimes, especially in the summer when everything's breeding and we have kittens everywhere. It's bleak, and we need all hands on deck. So that would be my message to everybody. There's always something you can do.
And never feel like it's not enough.
Exactly.
So, which I know a lot of people will feel that way. So when they say you can donate $1, I mean, even if you have, 10 particular babies you want to go out and help, send $1 because it helps, like you said, with the food, the litter, the everything. So it does do something good.
Be proud of that dollar. That's always be proud of your dollar you donated because you really did help an animal with that dollar. So anyway.
Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart today for being on with us. I know, like I said, this is a passion project, and I love having you on to talk about all of this and what you guys are doing. And I just want y'all to keep growing. So everybody that's watching and that does watch this, go and check out their page. They do a lot of really good work in the world, and so we want to keep them going. So I will wrap this up, and I'll let you get back to your day, Sharon. Thank you so much, and thank you, Barb. We love you. Thank you for keeping up with the van.
Yes.
So awesome. I will go ahead and we'll stop recording.